Okay, so for this one, first Baba had some news. I'm gonna talk through this play. So we'll see. This is the first time I'm doing this. So okay, let's play. Okay, so Baba's high is at 285.25, and there's a little bit of resistance around 285 also. So we'll see. So it's finding buyers. This is a washout long. This is the play that some people would take on small caps, large caps. It's not as popular. But you would want to see where support is, and as it holds, you buy, you have your stop, and you average down. So the tape is showing heavy buyers, if you just saw that 32 over here. So that 284 area is acting a little bit like support. It's a pretty wide spread, so the sellers are still above 284. If the sellers come below 284, it becomes a little worrisome, but as long as it holds above 284, it's okay. So we're seeing it hold. Okay, it's pushing up. So at the same time, we have SPY over here. SPY's going crazy, straight up, pushing through its range. Getting a little accumulation down at the bottom, but there's no tape speeding up much yet. Seeing a little bit of push. I'm looking for something around 285. 285 to this 285.25 area telling me to get long, so we'll see what it gives. The tape's a little bit laggy, but it's okay overall. So that first candle has huge volume, and it held, which is a good sign. So let's see. So that's something that you'll see in candles that'll pop down, pop back up really quickly. One order does that. Sometimes if you're in large size, you do get shaken out on these, so let's see. So nothing much yet. This is the type of area you should ignore the tape that much in. Don't try to understand what's going on when you're in between areas. And there we go. There goes the volume. Crazy volume. Bids are stepping up a lot. There you go. Get a rip through. I would never enter on this candle. This is just too much for me. Korean spike. And you can see that bids keep stepping up. There's a huge offer, 23.17 on the side of 287 pops. So now I'm definitely looking for a continuation play. This is just too hard for me to play. So now let's see if we can get some type of continuation. This is why I don't play this. It's too hard. You don't get a fill. You get screwed. Let's see. So we get a dip back down. Not buying. If you were trading shares, you could take a starter as it dips into here, but no play for me. I'm still looking for something to hold back, some type of pattern to form. If not, this is a no play for me. It's pushing. You can see how much the tape speed changed overall from the chop we were having earlier to now, which tape's running quickly. So let's see. So we pop, we push for new highs again. So the only play here is if you're fast enough, you could take a position as it dips back into support, but if not, there's no play. There's no way buying something like this into the breakout. Running from a low to a high will work on options. Limit orders won't fill. Market order will give you a solid 20% maybe over the market price that you were hoping to get filled at. We get a run up. I still have my old line, so let's get rid of that. Getting a run up into 288. So now 288 is holding on the tape. You can see that 288 is acting as resistance. So we didn't get a retest play. So now we're going to see if we can get a continuation play. A retest play would be some pattern forming down in this area. But we didn't get that. So now we want to see if we can get a bull flag, 2-candle pullback, anything that indicates a possible continuation. But that also gives us a set risk point. Right now, if you try to take this long, we'd be catching a knife if it fell. So. So here, if you look, there's an interesting over. I don't know how much. So many shares were traded on this candle. So we're still pushing. No trade still. Wait for that first red candle to close. It's always safer. You get your set risk. And there goes SPY. SPY dumps down. Let's see. So now again, I'm watching the tape to see what we get near 288. But all we know is just by this price action, without even seeing the tape, you know there's momentum. So let's see. So we have 70 orders sitting right above high of day at 288.39, but that could be a spoofed order. So we just want to see what else comes in. So now I'm just looking to see if there's buyers at 287. If there's some buyers, it could be a good sign. I just want to see if 287 breaks. So we're still getting a pullback, but if you look, the volume is relatively lower here. So we do get a lot of sellers up here, but the volume's a little bit lower. We find buyers down here. So I use the tape the most to see how levels test out, whole numbers test out, and if there's momentum when I'm taking a new position. So I zoomed in just so you get an idea of the price action better. So here what we can see is we're getting a little bit of a pullback among two candles. And knowing that there's sellers at 287, this could make, if this candle holds and holds below the low, it could hold below 287. This could make a good long if 287 pops. So let's see. So it cannot break below this 286.5 area. It's holding. You get that clear hold. And now let's see, we have 2 seconds left on the candle. Next candle opens. So now I have my continuation pattern. Now I'm seeing what I can get. Maybe some type of flag, some type of breakout. So 287 is where I'd look to get long. Maybe a little higher, 287.5. We'll see what we get. And then we get a pop. I got long right here. Tape starts speeding up. You can see that just in the candle's price action. So now I'm looking to see what happens. My stop right now is just below, a few cents below right here. And if at high of day we get heavy sellers and we don't pop quickly, we get a rejection. And there's no pop, there's no buyers holding it, I'll bail the position. But to me for right now, this is still good. So SPY is also pulling back, bouncing now. That's a good sign. SPY is on the left. So you can see a little bit on the bid size holding up near 287. A few threes, a few twos. So this is just a one bar pullback. I'm just looking for some type of pattern to tell me to get in. Like normally I'd look for a little bit more of a defined pattern, but when you have a runner with so much momentum, you're just looking for a chance to get long before that next high of day pop. Some type of one more pullback, two more pullback, flag. The 5 minutes, very, very bullish overall. That pattern is telling me that it's super bullish. We dip back into the 286.5 area, still holding. See. The only thing that concerns me now is the way that SPY is acting. SPY keeps selling off, but this is still holding my stop. This is where you respect your stop. There's no point to get out yet. It's relatively strong. We did not get a major dip, and now what we're actually seeing is you're getting a better pattern. If this breaks, you're getting a better pattern. So maybe that first entry was a little rushed, but at least now we have a much clearer pattern. We know what we're going for. You could wait for this type of pattern also. Some people won't advocate trading this because you're just one bar pullback. You don't have a clear pullback yet, but sometimes I'd rather be in the position, take a smaller position maybe if it's not an A+ pattern, and get long on the next. Maybe add above 288 now. What I'm seeing now is that This is stronger than SPY. SPY pulled back 4 candles in a row. This barely pulled back. We form another flag. Let's see. And I think I added as it broke again. I add somewhere near here. So we have 83 sellers at 287.90. As soon as we got a flush, I added. Now there's more sellers, but the fact that we just popped 90 immediately without a pause tells me that there's momentum, tells me that this is about to rip. And that could have been someone pulling the order, but to me it still popped it. I didn't see it, and pops 288. You can see it speeding up. There's way more volume here in this candle, and we still have 20 seconds left to go. More volume, we're pushing. My target was a high of day flush. So now we start flushing high of day, we're making new highs. I think I started selling here and I held some to see if we could get to 289, the 289 flush. And here you can see SPY is not rallying and this is still holding strong. So now my stop is if we go below 288 and bids don't pop up right away, I'll bail the rest of this position. So this pop is instantaneous. I'm looking for bids to actually fail holding 288 to get out. We have huge bids and there we go. It starts pushing. So now when I trade, I literally move the circle, so I know what I'm looking at. So I know my risk now is near this 288 area. Tape is telling me there's a huge order sitting down here, which scares away sellers in the first place. And second, let's see if we can pop 289. SPY's not rallying. This is holding rock solid above 288 area. Bids are holding 288.14. Every time it approaches 288, it holds. Now, if SPY can push back to high of day, this will rally. That's why I'm holding this last part of this position. That candle closes bullish. The 5 minutes is a very, very bullish chart. But I still think that I stopped out at 288 on the rest. Let's see. And this is when I bailed the rest of my position. I was still green. I was up like 6% here and like 10% up here. I bailed the rest of my position as 288 gave away. And I still think that this trade holds up. It forms another flag. We'll just pause and go forward a few minutes to see what happens. Yeah, it never actually stopped out below this candle where I placed my stop, but I scaled out of the bulk of my position, and this is a perfect re-entry. I'm okay with playing. Normally when I play these plays, I can play the opening range break if it's not that fast, the first pullback and second pullback. And after that I'm done, so I would have bailed this one around 290, I think. I didn't take this trade because I was up, so I just called it. But normally I would bail this position if I was playing it right as 290 rejects at 290. If we get another touch of 290, this is something I look for, another touch of 290, I would bail. So that's the breakdown of this trade. This didn't have as clean a tape as other plays I saw, but this point shows you what momentum looks like. And I think here you can tell what a bid holding for a while looks like, and then it flushes out. And that's where I think being able to recognize this type of thing and saying, okay, I'm in a winning position, 288 breaks, I'll just get out. Keeping yourself green overall, scaling out of some definitely, you should definitely be scaling out as IV spikes on this 288 pop. That's a popular idea, scale out into strength, and when they say into strength, it doesn't literally mean the second it pushes, it means where you get those IV spikes, just scale out. So that's what I did.